The bread was like 2 for $5, so I got two, you
Right,
know.
right. It's never done though. That's the thing. You know what I mean?
So
It's
my
always, and then you got
my guy
kids.
likes he likes the most expensive bread. I'm like, could you, use a cheaper bread? No, no. I'm like,
Right, right. That's
I
funny.
hate paying over $5 for a freaking loaf of bread. It's ridiculous.
That's hilarious. So,
Yeah, it's
Chris,
it's disgusting. But go ahead.
no, no, no. You got, because I wanted to ask you when we were talking last time, and you started
Yeah,
telling me about your thoughts on the relationship, and you were saying how it changed, like you saying being a young woman versus now being an older woman and looking
right,
at some things
right.
and how they are. And I think it was a good point. I wanted to, I thought it was some great points you made, and you said one thing in particular when you're talking about people looking for a lifestyle, and I thought
Right.
that I was like, oh, that's deep. I want to really explore that part of it because it's a different game. So go ahead. With that saying, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
So, when I was in my 20s, right, fresh out of,
Mm-hmm,
fresh out of college, got my job.
mm-hmm,
Sometimes the place in life is completely different. Like,
yeah.
I feel like my mind was more simple. Like, I looked and like, oh, well, he's got a car. Oh, he's
Right.
fine. Like,
Right.
those were the things, like, I wasn't thinking like, oh, he needs a degree, or does he have a house, or, can he take me on a vacation? But now, umpteen
Mm-hmm.
years later, I'm not going to tell you my age, but um,
Yeah.
after having been married and you have a family, the mindset changes. But
Right.
I also feel like love has changed. Not too many
Mm,
people are marrying for love anymore. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying love doesn't exist, because I believe in true love. But
yeah.
what I find is that the young generation, they're looking at the lifestyle to support, to continue what they're doing or what they want to do. And they may
Mm,
not have that six-figure job. They may not have that fat bank account, but
right.
they're looking for that other person to accommodate them, to help them continue with the lifestyle that they want. So
Right.
they
Right.
see everything on social media, on the videos, and it's like glamorized.
Right.
Um,
Right.
but they're looking for somebody to give them that instead of
Mm,
achieving something like that.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
therefore, you're looking for a partner, but you're looking for somebody to, like, oh, he's going to buy me a new car. Oh,
Mm,
we're going to get a new house. We're going to get a big house. We're going to travel. We're going to do this. But what are you actually bringing?
right.
And
What are you bringing to
you're
the
just
table with
looking
that?
for something just for what? There's, like, you don't have something substantial enough to bring into a relationship that will stay secure.
Right. Right.
I feel like that's where the problem is people are not marrying for love anymore. They're marrying for, either you marry for love or you marry for money. And I
Yeah.
feel like there's a lot more people marrying for money because it's a lifestyle that they want to hold on to.
Mm,
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'd love the $90,000 vehicle. I'd like to take a trip, but
yeah.
my priorities have changed. I
Yeah.
can't just, well, let me depend on somebody to give me money or to pay my bills. Pay your own bills.
Right. Right. Right.
You
Uh,
know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Educate yourself.
Hmm.
Make your money,
Well,
because that's when you do that, you have something to bring to the table as well as someone else. But you're not relying on them for that
mhm,
lifestyle. You're coming together in a partnership to find out how you can grow as a couple and
yeah.
have a secure relationship and not have it be one-sided, if that makes sense.
You're saying grow as a couple rather than, like you said, have a lifestyle. So meaning that, and it's
Right.
interesting because I look at the relationships now when they're not even seeing, and I see this with some women now, younger women, I would say younger women, they don't even notice you if they're about, he's got to have this, he's got to have that, he's got to have this job, he's got to have this
Right.
title, right? He's got to have this much, meaning that if you're not any of that, they don't even notice you. Like you're, like they'll look right through you, right?
Oh, yeah,
And so
absolutely. They won't
yeah,
even give you the time of day.
yeah, and it's like
Absolutely.
missing great guys, that,
But don't get it
and
twisted.
vice
There's
versa.
some,
Men do the same thing,
yeah, and I understand, like, you have an agenda when you have your goals set up. You're like, you know what? I want to have a big house. I want to have a family. I want this. I want that. Other people have different goals. Not everybody shares the same goal.
Right.
But what I'm saying is if you're going to be with somebody, you should bring something to the table so you can grow together, build together. Without like, oh, what's he gonna do for me? What's he gonna get me? What am I gonna get out of him? Because then what happens when that's all over? You're at square one. You don't have anything.
Right. And
no house, no car. No, you know what I mean? You got to start from scratch, or now you got to latch on to someone else for that lifestyle that you're trying to hold on to.
Right, and it's like you're saying that you have people, as we were talking about, that people that we both know, that at our age, right? We're at a certain age where they're still trying to figure out where they're going to live, who they're going to live with, or needing someone else to live with.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
They haven't figured it out.
Yeah.
They have not figured it out. They want those things. They want. It's good to, be inspired by other people and you see things. Yeah. But basically, the bottom line is you don't got your shit together.
Right.
And I'm sorry to say that, but that's what it is.
No, but that's the key. So it's like, because we're not talking materialistic here. We're talking about self-sustainability, right? That you're like, listen, I can. And it's interesting. My grandmother told me something, right? My grandmother and my mom are extreme women showed me of independence and even in their thinking so I grew up with the idea. It's kind of funny. I grew up with the idea of thinking, well, that's women are like that. That's what they need to be. And I mean that as a positive. They were like, yeah. So, and my grandmother used to tell me something where she was like, never put yourself in a position where if there's a bad situation that you are stuck and you cannot leave. And that was key. She was like, no, never get yourself in that situation.
Feeling trapped in a situation where you're like, wait a minute, where's this going? You question yourself, where's this going? And your pockets are being depleted. Now you got 6 figures you make, you're well established, you have your home, right? Then you have someone who comes in and you're like, oh, this is great, this is a new relationship, but slowly, as time goes on, you're depleted.
Well, yeah, I mean, and I know that where...
your pockets are depleted. Yeah, you're like, okay, what's happening?
And like you said, this is both men and women, so I want... people understand that, it's not because listen, you've experienced that with men. I've experienced that with women, and like one of the things I was saying, I no longer care. Like I've dropped saying I want to be the good guy. Doesn't mean I don't want to be a good person, right? I want to be a good person, but I don't want to be a quote unquote nice guy, good guy, because it got me nowhere, and it got me hurt. I was hurting myself because what happens? You're like, there's stuff that you're like, I don't like that, but you're like, you know what? I'm gonna be a good dude. I'm gonna take it, and it's eating at you, and then you're getting walked over.
Good guys finish last,
exactly.
And it's true because then you get the basically like the shit end of the stick,
right?
You know what I mean?
If you even get the stick,
right? You didn't get nothing, right? You didn't get nothing.
Social media has, to me, has really hurt relationships for both men and women because. Men are out there trying to flex, right? Oh, I'm doing this. I'm living this way. I'm living that way. And look, or it's funny priority-wise. I'm out here flexing. I got all the new J's. I'm looking crisp. I got this. I got that. But they don't have anything you should be having for yourself to maintain yourself or relationship. Like you've got all these Jordans, right? But you can't afford to live on your own, right?
Yeah, you have all these Jordans, but you're either renting a room and you're sleeping on a mattress, but you're worrying about the Jordans that came out 100, 200, and it's like you only have sneakers to show for that lifestyle.
Right.
So, you would want to try to be with somebody who's already established. So guess what? You just move right in. Now you got a house that goes with all these Jordans that you done bought, wasted your money, don't have no money in the bank account. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me
100%.
wrong. You got to start from somewhere, right? But what I'm saying is, have your own goals.
Yeah.
Don't use
Yeah.
someone to try to obtain the things that you want and need. You should be able to get them for yourself, and you create that lifestyle that you want.
Right. Right. I mean, that's.
And then when you meet that someone, you know, it's like an explosion. You meet someone else who can complement that lifestyle, but not necessarily give you that lifestyle, but take care of you, but to complement you. And that's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Then you come together, you grow together, and, you know, whether it's marriage, whether it's family, whatever the case may be, you know, then it becomes a different mindset. So, you know, in your 20s, you're thinking, oh my God, you know, he's so fine. Look at what he's driving.
Yeah.
You know, those are the simple things you're kind of looking for. But now you're getting older, and it's like you're looking for bigger things.
Right. So one of the things I remember some years ago, I had a friend of mine, and like when I had gone through the breakup, she was like, "Oh, I know someone, young lady, beautiful, smart." And she was smart, talented. She's, has her own career, and she was like, and she wants to have kids, right? And so, because she had known with me, I'm like, okay, kids. But at my age, like I realize, I look at, I shouldn't say my age. My thought is, I'm older now. I think about things now, and I look back, and I'm like, and I looked at it, and I said, well, wait a minute. And she was like, what do you mean? I said, because she wants kids. So in the front of her mind, even meeting me, right? She's like, okay, I want to have kids, so I'm going to meet this dude. He's nice, whatever. But what I mean by that is that going to precede her really getting to know me, right? To the level she should, and me getting, or even should we, because I know
she's got a goal to attain,
right?
And she's going to need you to help her get to that goal.
So,
and like I said, it not to cut you off,
no,
but
go ahead.
It could be a house, it could be a family, it could be it could be material things. But people use other people, and rightfully so. I guess, we're supposed to be used because we have purpose in life to do these things for other people.
Yeah.
But, you don't want to be taken advantage of at the same time either. But on the flip side, if this young lady is got a goal to have a family and wants to have kids, that's going to be on her mind.
Right. And what got me is that...
Do you have kids? Do you want kids? How do you feel about kids? Everything's going to revolve around her goal.
Right. And that's where I'm like, okay, is that going to, because my thought process now, and I'm not saying it, but the thought comes now, okay, hold on, right? Because now, is she going to know me, like get to know me, decide upon, hey, we could build something together? Or is it going to be, I want to get married, I want to have kids, and I want to do it before I'm such and such age. So now, and so, because I was like, I've seen it now that, our age, we've seen some stuff, right? I've seen people, they got married, right? They had the kids, but then let's say, so as a man, the woman decides, you know what, this isn't the cat that I want to be with for the rest of my life. But now they got 2 kids. Now they have assets. Now they have all these things. And then they're like, I'm out, right? And why I'm saying that is they didn't give themselves enough chance to understand who I am with respect to, is this going to work? Is this someone I really want to marry? Do I want to be in a relationship with them, rather than saying, you know what, he has enough money for me to settle down? And I'm not saying those things are wrong, but they have to be in the right order, I think. And so,
right. No, I agree with you 1,000%.
Because now I'm like, because, like you said, the lifestyle again is, are you acting right now to get to this lifestyle? And then when I get to know you, I'm like, this girl's wilding, but I'm not now I'm married, or now, we're married and got kids, and now I'm figuring out who you really are, right? And you don't really, now you, or you found out you got married too young, you really didn't want to be married yet, right? And I mean married in terms of saying that, I don't know, I want to, or even have children yet, like just the things of like, there was so much more I wanted to do that now, or even, here's the other part, right? I think people, again, the lifestyle stuff is they want, because we have social media, and I keep going back to social media. Now there's something where you can put a commercial up for yourself, essentially, right? Because, I've had, a girlfriend of mine who, we were together, and she was like, oh, and see, as a real, I don't put a lot of my personal relationships and things on social media, right? And the reason I don't,
Right.
and the reason I don't is because I'm somewhat public
Well,
as a
it's more for
figure,
privacy
right?
too. You know
Like,
what I
yeah,
mean? You
you
want to
know,
keep that private.
yeah, because and one of my things too is that my mentor in my career was like, and he's older. He said to me, keep your personal life off your page because as a public figure, you don't want everybody knowing
Right.
your business, right? And so I took heed in that and took it off. Now this young lady didn't understand that. She was like, hold on, because people posting, they got their wives on there, they're doing this, they're doing that. I'm like, I'm not doing that because, especially also it was it was not stable. So I was like, no, I'm not putting up
Well,
for but
people really,
you know,
putting a ring on. It's like putting your status or putting your significant other or the woman you're dating on social media. It's almost connected as if putting a ring on it, basically.
oh yeah, that's
You
marking
know, like it's
territory.
official.
See how now here's the thing, Mark and Terry doing this, but then someone's like, yeah, you see, he has his girl up there. What's up with you? And it's what's up with you and me. So you're not serious about me because it's like, no, that shouldn't play a part. Social media now plays a part in how people are feeling.
Right.
And that's not supposed to be how it is. It's not supposed to be, oh, he don't love me, he don't put me on his page, and because all that is commercial. Like I said, I'm gonna say again, it's commercial. It's commercial.
Yeah, because I believe some cats will turn around and say, I like, privacy, but in the flip side of that, privacy and secrecy are two different things when it comes to social media or just in your daily life. Like I said to you before, people who don't necessarily have a social life outside of that, they rely on those, platforms like Instagram and WhatsApp and Snapchat and Facebook. So they rely on that to see what everybody's doing, where they're going, what they're buying, what they're cooking. That's what that is.
Yeah, and then how you present yourself.
Right now where I'm at in my place in life, my peace is worth so much more.
I hear that. Because you can't. Yeah, no.
And also security.
Yeah.
I'm worried, like, posting my children, like, I would be afraid that somebody would, take their picture and use it for some, you often worry about, the security and safety of your family, not just when they're with you in person, but when you post something. Sometimes it takes away from enjoying the actual moment. The social media is, like I said, it's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
And on the flip side, it can be a root of evil. So, but yeah, if you basically are in a relationship and you posted on Facebook, well, that means that's serious. Like, well, he posted her because that means it's serious.
Yeah, and it's like, well, why are we measuring by that? But and the other thing is, now what are we presenting? Because again, and these women, it's like they get mad. He was looking at me, or now, here's the other thing. There's something else now where there's all these posts, men and women, and it's like you're posting yourself as an object, right? As about being like, a specimen, right?
Right.
So then now you're getting like what I didn't realize, I would say, is that I didn't, I had young women who told me that their DMs are blown up. Like they're like, you wouldn't believe how many men are just on my DMs, and these are women that aren't posting crazy, right? And they're like, yeah, these dudes are in there saying stuff like, "What's up, mommy? Let me take you out," or "Let me hit it." And it's like, I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, it's crazy. And because in my mind, I'm like, I would never, if I don't know somebody, I am not, throwing. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't know. I just like I wouldn't have. I just wouldn't do it. Like, first of all, the type of person I am, like, and you got to respect yourself, respect your relationship that you're in. If you're in a relationship, if you're single, have at it. But at the same time, you don't know if that's Jada Smith or whatever. You don't know if that's really her. That could be Billy Bob somewhere, and playing around with the social media. You just never know. Like, it's scary. Honestly, me personally, No, I mean, don't get me wrong. If I see Tyrese or Idris Elba or
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
it's different. Like, hey, oh my God, you get the heart emoji, but not sending DM messages and no,
Right. That's always amazing to me. Like that, and that's the thing. So it's also an the advert of AI, right? So now,
Oh yes, oh God,
I know people
taking
who are
over,
oh
taking
yeah,
over, and I can't stand it. You can't.
oh
It's just what's real and what's not real.
right, right. Because I know people who have created pages with AI people that aren't real, but they were like people in the DMs trying to get their number, sending them gifts and
Yeah.
money and sponsorships, and it's like wow, that's crazy. But it's the thing of, as we say again, right? What we're saying here is this whole thing of and I said I'm getting back into this of when like there's I guess what I'm saying is that there's so much room for to be not real, right? To not There's so much room to
Oh, of
not know
course,
who this
of course.
person is, to not to like so. And then here's the other thing: when I'm on, it's like when I was dating, I always wanted to, I just thought you should date people or not when I mean or someone else can hook you up or whatever, because it's like social media and even these dating things, everybody's on their best behavior, right? You're not
Right.
going to put on your page that
Everybody's
everybody's
smiling.
everybody's smiling, and I'm easy to get along with. I don't have
Yeah.
a bad temper. I don't, da, 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 da. That's what it is right now, right? However,
Right.
saying so it's like this. You're waiting 3 months in, and then you're like, whoa, right? And that way, I say again, if somebody says I want to get married or I want to have kids, and I'm only saying that if that's because I know that's a goal. I understand that as a goal. You should, but if
Right.
you're leading with that, what happens now is you're gonna everybody's gonna present
That's
their
always
thing to
going to
get
be
married.
your agenda, no matter who you meet.
Right. And you're going to say, I'm going to act right so I can get married. And then when you get married, then you want to figure out, okay, now I can kind of drop the act, right? Or the mask, and I can act any way I want.
Once the mission is accomplished,
Right.
you're no longer useful.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You're no longer useful.
Yeah. And then and now again, I'm not saying people haven't found love and other things are there, but I think I go back to and to me, this goes back into, and I like to say is you've got to learn who you are first. The first task to be, who am I?
Right.
What do I want to do? And he said, what are my goals? Eventually, okay, I want to get married. I want to be single. I mean, I don't want to be single anymore. I want to do this, and that's fine, right? I'm not going to say any of that's wrong, but you put them in the proper perspective. And that's how it goes, and so that's why I'm going to say that. So, and Chris, I'm sorry, I'm pulling up here, and I've got to check in on my brother and his twins because my dad's calling me. So
all right. Well, listen, we'll catch up. I'm actually in front of my house. I got to bring the groceries in. My boyfriend's probably like, you left like 2 hours ago.
All right, Chris. So listen, have a good night, and we'll talk.
Good luck. Right. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, Chris. So take care. All right.
All right. You too. Bye-bye.
Let's fly away, just you and me. I need a little break from the city.